A cry for help. Unfortunately for Troydon Blazer and Cruikshank, it did not work out that way. Born in central Trinidad, this vibrant, talented young man somehow got on the wrong track, which resulted in his death.
Humble yes as I am, still I got to know my plan. Got to keep on treading up to Mosiah. There's no need to stop me, cause I'm seeking for the Almighty. His love will always be there for me, cause I see things clearly this way. Was not designed for those who can't live in it, yeah. So we got to keep on searching where, say this way. Never designed for those who can live it no way. But life is what you make it, not just how you take it.
My first encounter with Troydon was when he was about 14, 15 years old. And I think he was a super talented young man. A little fellow with a nice voice. And he did in fact have a good personality. And I think that he had a long way to go if that talent that I saw in him was harnessed. And so I tried to do exactly that. I tried to harness that talent and take him forward and ensure that he becomes, well, what he eventually became as far as singing was concerned.
Like the way you chuck it, like the way you rock it, like the way you cock it, you can drop it on me.
Yeah, well, what I can remember meeting Blazer for the first time. That time I had this store in Francis Plaza. And I walk out the store and I see some guy stand up on the corner. And a guy call out to me, "Hey, KMC!" I say, "Yo man, what about it?" He say, "Boy, I the singer. I's Blazer." I say, "Eh?" He say, "RL Styles." I say, "What you have?" And immediately the man started spitting out songs. And every song the man was spitting out was like, I say, "Wait, this is a real potential." I'm saying that to myself, but I really want to say it loud, you know.
What I can say is the first time I met Blazer was pretty interesting. Back then I used to be a singer, was on Party Time and had just come off Party Time and was walking out the street one day. Me and a girl I used to sing with called Stacey Sobers. And this little boy was just riding a bicycle behind us and singing. So we keep walking for a while and just smiling to ourselves and saying, would he ever stop? Alright, so then I looked at him, I turned around and said, "So you sing, small man?" He was like 13 years old, and that was who we know today as Blazer Dan.
You'll be begging me to let go of you. I ain't leaving you, girl, till the morning come. Saying that I want you, I need you, I have to, I get you, I hold you, I need you, girl.
And we started talking, and he said, well, he was interested in singing, and he saw me on TV and all of that, and he wanted to get to know me. And it only took a conversation, and it was in the studio. Took him to a DJ friend of mine, Special Delivery. He had a little home studio that we all used to record by. And we recorded Troydon on his first ever recording on a cassette called Danger Zone.
He said, "I know where you live, you know. I will check you." I say, "All right, check me anytime." He say, "You serious?" I say, "Yeah, vibes me." And the next day, Blazer was by me, you know, and we sit down there, we had some drinks and things, and we just start vibing some rhythm, and boy, the man have talent like that.
It was about 20 of us, and a lot of youths that I used to train, and Troy became part of the family.
That time I was producing a whole set of artists, from the biggest to the smallest, and I said, this guy is going to be very huge. And I stand here, have a terrific tone of voice that the ladies love, you know.
Oh, girl. Oh, girl, I've been watching you, girl, and I really like you, girl, and I gotta let you know I wanna rock your world. And the way you're whining, girl, yes, I gotta be there, girl. I will never leave your side. You can be my girl.
As time go by and people grow up, people morph into their own I mean, caterpillar becomes butterflies and moths, and little fishes become frogs and that kind of thing. And I guess he became whatever he became.
Troydon as a friend was very different to Blazer, right? Everybody knows him as Blazer, the sweet voice guy with a rough voice in between, and performing, excellent singer. But as a person, he was a really, really different person to who you would know when you knew him as an artist, right? As a friend, I would like to say that he was a good guy with a lot of bad stripes.
But there was an underlying part of him that was self-destructive. And as time go on, I had to somehow or the other let go of him. Let go of him.
Nobody can live forever. Some of us just die young. And it was just yesterday. It seems like you're gone. Just want to see what you know. It's been so long now since I'm without you. Remember this time alone, it's love you and until the end. Remember you will always be my friend. Been so long, waiting for you to come home. Been so long. How many years as I am, still I got to know my plan. Got to keep on treading up to Mount Zion. There's no need to stop me, cause I'm seeking for the Almighty. His love will always be there for me, cause I see things clearly this way. Was that designed for those who can't live in it? So we got to keep on searching way, say this way. Never designed for those who can live it no way. But life is what you make it, not just how you take it. No.
So we did the first song we did was a song called Tell Me What You Gotta Do. It was on the Fat Farm rhythm. That rhythm never really bust out big. But that was the first try. And the very next carnival, listening with Blazer that whole year, he stopped liming, and he was by my house almost every day. We making cook, we laughing, me, Samurai, Silent Style, just we clashing, pilot everybody. And Blazer was like the star in the midst, He was dropping me to the airport, and Mr. Marshall Montano and Grayson picked me up in New York, and I playing a song named I Don't Want to Know If I Get In Horn for them. I said, this rhythm bad, Marshall. And he said, yeah, I wait to sing a tune with a youth named Blazer. He real bad. And I sang, and the song go like this. Juve, say we chipping down the tongue, no, I mean all around. Juve. We get that song while they dropping me to the airport. You understand? So Marshall started to say, you can't play mass if you're afraid, powder. So we do something, we finish right out the song. I say, wow. By the time we touch back from New York and we reach down in Trinidad now, studio. Blazer cut part, Marshall cut the part. And then Blazer was born. We come up, we clashing, and we end up coming up with Carnival Rags. That is when I sing, hey crowd of people, why you listen to me? Blazer will give me the whole idea for that song. And he sang this song wrong timing, and the whole song was about this girl. I say, that is not a dancehall song, that is a soca. He say, boy, you mad or what? I say, boy, that is a soca, sing it. And I started beating a soca style, 155, And then I had some family by me, my stepfather and my brother-in-law, arguing about when Christ coming. One was a Rasta and one was a bowhead. Blazer take that and write the second verse. A Christian and a Rasta man talking. We used to have real fun. And then we say, hey, this song going to bust real big. We went down into the studio, we do the background vocals, Multi-Symptoms and Junior and them do some magnificent vocals. The song we released for that year, 2003 Carnival, was that same Juve song. And then about a month after we released Wrong Timing, that set him up in the air. You know, and Blazer was born, everybody wanted to know, well, who is Blazer?
Behold, bless the Lord, I the servant of the Lord, whom I night silent in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hand in sanctuary and bless the Lord who made the heaven and earth, blessed from Zion. Jah! Bless it so oh, oh, my Father, 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 come on,
Time pass, sometimes men follow the wrong company. I don't know. He's a kind of fella you have plenty love in his heart now. And he like friends. He like to keep friends around him. And he have plenty naughty friends too. So sometimes he do certain things and he wanna defend his friends. The friends them do certain things and he wanna defend his friends and them, And we always talking to him, hey, you have to change our vibes and things.
Moving with Blazer sometimes would be very, very tricky because you never know when something's going to happen. You walk with Blazer and all of a sudden he sees somebody he want to fight with. You know what I mean? Some old enemy you remember from some time ago. That's as real as it is, right? So when you're trying to butter it up, he was as real as that. Anytime you move with Blazer, you could be sure that something is going to go down some way, right?
The first time when he started, Blazer started veering away from what I wanted him to be was when he went, I think he interfered with some little old man and he threw some kind of substance in his eye, and I had to spend an awful lot of money in order to save it, to save his eyes. I think we were able to save one of them and the other one eventually deteriorated.
Those days, he was doing a sort of like, he was like a gangster. Plenty men was out for him and thing, and he decided to cool himself and thing, He decided to cool and he deal with the music and, me and my wife talking to him all the time, hey, Blazer, this is what you had to do, and he just listening.
Other than that, he had a lot of friends. We all stick together no matter what, right? It's just that you always knew that there was going to be some drama once you're around Blazer.
And I talked to him then and I spoke to him and, even when he was in his hospital bed, Ryan and a couple of other young fellas at the time who I was in contact with, we all spoke to him. But I guess he was who he morphed into.
He had a very, very short temper. And we all tried, we begged, we pleaded for him to turn around his life, for him to change, right? And even sang a song, Me Them Just Can't Change, and it explained everything. If you heard that song, it explained everything,
knowing Blazer, right, he come like a brother to me. Just the other day, he bring some wild meat and thing for me, you know. Go on and he could real cook wild meat, you know. The first time I taste alligator was Blazer bring it, you know. So he could real cook it, you know. I even tricked my wife into eating peas because she don't eat wild meat at all.
What I would say to the people out there who could look back at his life, now that he's gone and it's unfortunate that he can no longer take stock of that. Maybe his little brother and his family coming up could see it. You have to find someone in your life that you can trust, someone you can lean on.
The Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists, of which I'm the president, are very concerned about these things. They have psychologists within the country who will sit down and work with teens. Some of us specialize in the area with teens, some of us specialize in different areas, but you want to get someone who can work with your teenager. What I would suggest is, or let me outline to you those things that I think every parent will be concerned about. For instance, rebellion. If they just not following your orders, they're coming in late. If you see the signs, then you've got to get on top of it. You can't ignore it. You can't blow it off at all.
I am sure during my experience with Blazer that I was probably in his head one of his biggest enemies and yet still one of his best friends. Because every day I would tell him to go on the correct path. And being a friend, I may not have seemed qualified to him to be the one to tell him that.
For a friend in a situation like that, the most that we could do is to just keep on saying, making those kinds of suggestions. That's the most that we could do. Say, listen, you need to change your life, or you need to whatever. We could make the various kinds of appeals to the person, but ultimately it is the person's choice. There are things that we can do and there are things we cannot do. I think we need to focus on the things that we can, because there are certain things that are outside of our control.
Your little friend could be the one bringing the right answers for you. And all of Blazer's friends, we all spoke to him at different occasions, and we tried our best to help him. But he was a leader, and he had leadership qualities. So his power was so strong that it was hard for anyone else to influence him in opposition to what his mind was telling him to do.
A big part of it is the person's self-image. As I always say, the journey to self is one of the biggest journeys you'll have. A lot of people feel that their greatest accomplishment is how well they've done academically, or in their careers, or all of those things. But to tell you the honest truth, the thing that sets us apart is the person who is able to have that and accomplish that journey to themselves, to the inside, to the inner core of themselves. The ability to understand why I'm making choices, the ability to understand what has affected my life. A lot of us don't want to see it because it's hard. It's hard work.
When you see the place start to wave, let me see you put your arms and your flags up high in the air. When you see the place
What I prefer to call sensible lyrics in their songs, the same way that they're using these nonsensical lyrics and the young people are gravitating towards that, it's the same way they would gravitate towards the sensible lyrics, and it would in fact make a difference in their lives. We in Trinidad and Tobago, our young people, apparently once you get hooked on something, you don't know how to let go, because if they're taking cognizant of the trend, even with the gangster rap in America, you would see that they too are moving away. P. Diddy wears suits and sing all the time, and 50 Cent, he wears suits, and when you look at them, they're trying to change their image, while we here are trying to put our pants further down our butts, and our young people are trying to emulate what used to be, and they're not looking at what is going to take them forward.
And their lyrics, if parents only sat down there and wrote it out and they watched it, they would say, what? When you're looking at the parent to the child, if your first initial contact and, as I said, listen, talk, have that dialogue, if they're saying, I don't care, all right, as a parent, I want to encourage parents, don't give up.
When I heard the passing of Blazer, it seemed like I get the first call because as the shots back, his sister called me immediately. I say, you alright? She say, I will call you back and tell you. In about 30 seconds, she called me back and tell me they kill him. It didn't really hit me too hard yet until when I reach up in the back and I saw him on the ground there. I said, Lord, my eyes just started to run water. I couldn't hold it back. No matter how you may view our brother, you understand, every man deserves a right to live. Nobody is really supposed to be killing one another, no matter what. You understand? A commandment in the Bible, you're not supposed to murder. Murder is a sin against God and a deep sin too.
We all have to learn from that and know that a guy with so much talent, right, still had very little direction, although all the doors were open for him.
In the life of Blazer, I was glad to be a part of it. You understand, share certain experience with him. You know, I learned certain things from him too, certain do's and not to do's. You understand? And I want to say, respect to the family, respect to his wife. You know, she's a nice person. Hope his children grow up to be nice children, you know.
I think that as parents, we should do as much as we can. Just keep on working at it till we get to the solution, till we get the attention. I agreed. The individual is a free moving entity. They can make the choice to do that which is good or to do that which is bad. It is their choice. However, as a parent, we should try again. Not give up.
Don't know what to say again. Blazer, rest in peace. Your boy Ken Marlon, love forever.
Somebody better call somebody and tell somebody that I need somebody. Whoa, need somebody, know I love somebody. Just bring that body, never love that body, girl. Somebody better call somebody and tell somebody that I need somebody, yeah. And if somebody know I love somebody, just bring that body, let me love that body, girl. Somebody better call somebody and tell somebody that I need somebody.
Nobody perfect, yo. So time to give ya all of your service, yo. A second chance, every man is worth it, yo. So give him all your worship, we'll be tell them now.
Somebody better call somebody and tell somebody that I need somebody, yeah. And if somebody know I love somebody, just bring that body, let me love that body, girl. Somebody better call somebody and tell somebody that I need somebody, yeah. Somebody know I love somebody, just bring that body.